Hello there, my name is John. As you can see, our banner numbers are on the screen there. We're just going to dive right into the game here. So that's the options menu. As you can see, it only has the volume, it's quite simple, it doesn't really need anything more than that. We're going to show you the credits in a second as well. That's the credits for everybody that worked on this game and a couple of the things that we had used during the creation of said game. Okay, so we're going to get into the game now. Just show you about the menus here as well. The options menu again, which carries over from the menu and so on. There is music playing, but I've muted it for the sake of this game, for the sake of this recording. This is the select character screen, which is between male or female. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so next up we're going to get into one of the actual game scenarios, which is you're pulling over a suspect and you're going to interact with them by speaking to them. You can move forward by pressing WASD, or you can move in any direction by that matter. So you're going to approach the NPC here, and then what happens is you'll see there's a rating in the top right, and depending on how you interact with the NPC you'll get a better or worse score. As you see there, it just went down to -5. And now we're just going to go through this. You'll also see there's a star rating in the top corner there, and luckily this time he obliges. You can also check the license plate for a couple of bonus points. As you see, we're still on 2 stars and you want that 3rd star. And there you have it. That is the end of this scenario. Okay, so we're back in the menu here. This one is the shop robbery scenario where you have to chase someone who's stolen something, and it's about the proper way to handle such a situation where you're on an on-foot pursuit situation. So you can press shift to sprint, same controls as before. E is the interaction button, I forgot to mention that previously. That will show up on screen. You will see that you get negative points or some form of punishment for colliding with citizens. So there are objects that will give you negative points here. Also in the top left in this situation there is a timer. Currently it's at 50 seconds. I believe you'll have seen either as well. I believe when it passes a minute it will drop to 2 stars on the top right. Yes, there it is there. Not much longer now and we'll have this guy caught. Gonna just sip my tea. There you have it. You tackle the guy to the ground when you've had enough of him. We're going to quickly show you the character swap. You may have noticed the character had carried over, and now we're going on to the next scenario, which is breach of the peace. You're approaching a park, a couple of drunks or junkies, people from Glasgow, I mean yeah, as you see there. The aim here being to approach the park and try and handle the situation as best you could when people are being quite difficult, which is almost a step up from the situation in the first scenario that we show. Eventually we get into the park. That was a little bit of a whoopsie there. Press E to interact with them. Yeah, but he's not very nice. That's very rude. We're just going to do the usual verbal jig. And as you've seen in the top right, we've got the point system again. No timer this time, no on the top left. So you have to search them in this situation to see if you can find any drugs or alcohol. And you check his pockets, you find his keys, because he's definitely driving. There's his ID. If you're searching elsewhere, you might not find anything. That's a good thing though, you checked. Or you might even find drugs. However, if you touch his face or any other place that might be deemed inappropriate, you will get negative points for that. You may see in the top right it says inappropriate. That is the end of that scene. We got 3 stars for that, even though we touched his face. Interesting. Finally, we've got an interrogation scene here, and it's to do with how you would deal with a suspect in after you've taken them in. I love the name drop there as well, Ryan Stevens at UWS Street or whatever it was. I'm just going to have myself more tea. In the end, that was a success, even though we were at 1 star at one point. The final section is the information and quiz section. Here you can find an information bank based directly on government legislation regarding policing powers. I'll cut out the rest because this is all mostly the same kind of stuff. So there you have your drunk drive limit and such. Next up, we're going to go into the quiz here. The quiz can get quite difficult. It's got a mixture of easy and hard questions. Later on, the answers will show up. We're just going to go through this quite quickly here. So he gets the first one right, he goes on to the next question. At some point he's going to do the second one. There it is. So he actually went on to the third one. I thought he was going to fail that one. Maybe he does it here. Yeah, there it is. So it will actually just take you back out and you have to restart. So it can be quite difficult. So here we're just going to speed through. There are 10 questions in total. The answers, as you can see, are on the left in case you want to play through it and check that the answers might even be right. Thank you for watching. This has been Police a Serious Game.